Hello, greetings from QRBA. My name is Louise Hodder and I'm the PY Program Manager with QRBA. I'd like to warmly welcome you to your professional year program in ICT. Now, I'll go through the following orientation presentation with you, and please remain until the end. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and this orientation and quiz is compulsory. So at the end of the presentation, you'll be prompted to complete a quiz, and on submitting the quiz, it will notify our team of your successful completion of the orientation. So let's start. This is part one, the class component. So the purpose of the professional year program. Now, the PY program is a work readiness program that enhances the employment opportunities for international ICT graduates such as yourself, and it assists in addressing Australia's ICT skills shortages. So the Australian Computer Society, ACS, works very closely with the Department of Home Affairs to maintain the PY program, and participants who successfully complete the program and meet specific Home Affairs eligibility requirements may be eligible for 5 additional migration points towards permanent residency. So the ACS learning and professional networking. As a PY participant, you receive ACS membership benefits. And when you receive your membership details, it's usually the first week of the month following your enrolment into the program. You log into the ACS site to find everything on offer and to unlock your potential. So the ACS Learning Accelerator allows you to explore a wide range of technical and professional courses and assets to help you upskill and reskill. Keep your skills and knowledge current and help you with your next stage of your career. So ACS has a membership base offering each of you the opportunity to start attending network events, to meet like-minded people and consort with new contacts in IT, hear about traditional and front page issues in the tech world, engage in professional development opportunities, and navigate the ACS landscape of ICT certification, specialisms, assessments, and registrations. So we encourage all candidates to utilise the Learning Accelerator on the ACS site and begin attending networking events. So to start, when on the campus, when you're arriving on your first day at the campus, you'll see the emergency exit lights illuminated and the evacuation points and safety procedures, which are located at the lifts and on the wall inside each of the classrooms. So please take note of these exit points and procedures. And in the event of an emergency, please follow your facilitator in the evacuation process for the venue. And you'll find your localised campus emergency evacuation maps on your LMS, which I'll talk about in a minute. So there's Brisbane, Sydney, Hobart, Canberra, and the Gold Coast. And they're all the evacuation maps for your localised area. So the LMS Learn Book is your student resource portal. It's where you'll find all your resources that you'll need throughout the course. So policies folder, the forms folder, emergency evacuation plans, which I just mentioned, the student handbook, the student code of conduct, terms and conditions, the PY course outline, the ACS expectations and guidelines, and useful contacts, course materials, assessment documentation, and this compulsory online orientation presentation PowerPoint for you to review as you go on. The PYP notice board showing current information and trending topics, different polls covering certain topics, student health and wellbeing support from Helen Anderson. We'll have her contact details for you. And the QIBA emergency support contacts and localised contacts per location. And also on the LMS are a few compulsory surveys that we ask you to complete. The first one is at the mid-course, and it's the evaluation survey. It's done in class in week 16. And then there's the course evaluation survey done on your last class. And that provides us feedback and information for our continuous improvement and to provide a good program, professional year program for you. So also internship forms and resources and the internship orientation on LMS. So the forms, there's the ACS PY transfer application form. There's the application for disruption to studies to apply for a makeup class, the complaints and appeals form, the application for a course transfer, internal, for deferment of commencement or cancellation of your PY program. And there's the application for a refund form, application for special consideration, and the student testimonial and consent form. So QIBA expectations. The program is where you develop and practice professional skills and habits, which will be valuable to you in the Australian workplace. Now, this is where it all starts. You arrive to class on time, well-dressed and ready to participate. Late arrival to class is not acceptable, not even by 5 minutes. Late arrival back from a break is also not acceptable. Punctuality is key. And you fully participate in class. There's group work, teamwork, pair work. We want you to fully participate. Mobile phones must be on silent during class, no social media or phone calls during class time. And it's expected that all facilitators, QIBA staff and candidates treat each other at all times with respect and in a professional manner. There is a dress code which applies when you're in class or any online classes. And during any online classes, you must have your video on at all times so the facilitator can see you. So the PY program requirements. The class component, which is in-class delivery, is comprised of 32 weekly classes, a minimum 250 facilitated hours. And candidates must complete at least 32 weeks of onshore delivery prior to internship. Where a candidate goes offshore for more than a two-week period outside of scheduled breaks for any reason, the candidate's internship commencement date will be delayed to ensure at least 32 weeks are demonstrated onshore during in-class delivery. Now, scheduled into your cohort timetable, there's at least one break day where you don't attend class. And there's always a break at Christmas and New Year and at the Easter long weekend. Other public holidays, not so much. You may very well be scheduled to attend class. Now, the internship component is pre-scheduled to start 2 weeks after your last scheduled class. You must complete all classes, including any makeup classes you needed to complete, and pass all assessments prior to being eligible to start your internship component. Now, if you've taken leave for more than 2 weeks or have makeup classes that couldn't be scheduled prior to your pre-scheduled internship start date, the internship component must be deferred until all the classes and assessments have been completed. Now, fees apply in these situations. So the course must be completed over 12 calendar months, or program deferral of up to 6 months may be approved for compassionate or compelling circumstances. Now, 100% attendance in class is required, and class time is 8:45 to 5:30. So punctuality, again, arrive on time. Late arrival is not acceptable. If you arrive late, your facilitator has the right to refuse you entry. You must communicate with your facilitator if you're running late. Text or email either your facilitator or a classmate to pass on the message. That is common courtesy, and it's one of the habits and the skills we want you to develop through this professional year program. Communication. If you're running late, let someone know. If you're refused entry, you'll need to make up a class in another cohort. This will incur an admin fee for the makeup class and may result in a delay to internship and graduation, depending on when we can get you in for a makeup class. And it may not be scheduled prior to your internship start date, so there'll be delays. And leave. Leave won't be approved unless for medical, extenuating or emergency circumstances. So all leave, including emergency leave, must be applied for by completing a disruption to studies form. Approval must be granted by QIBA prior to emergency leave. Supporting evidence is required. Your leave may be declined. Sick leave, however, taken must be supported by a doctor's certificate. And if leave is approved, you must make up the missed classes. Make-up classes will be arranged by the student support team on submission of and approval of the disruption to studies form. So if offshore leave, if offshore leave is more than 2 weeks duration, the internship component will be deferred by the number of weeks taken. Class component must reflect 32 weeks in Australia. Fees apply in these situations. And make-up classes will be held on a day other than your regular class day. However, please understand the make-up class may not be available before your internship start date. And if that's the case, your internship will be deferred in order for you to complete those make-up classes. And in that case, your graduation date may be delayed also. All make-up classes, for any reason, incur a $100 admin fee. So to apply for make-up classes, an application for disruption to studies form must be completed and returned to the PY student at qiba.edu.au team. Forms can be downloaded from the forms folder in LMS, and all make-up classes incur a $100 admin fee. So requirements for successful completion of the PY program. There are 5 main requirements for successful completion. 100% attendance to class and internship placement, competence in all module assessments, internship placement completed successfully and all completion documents submitted, and the online components. This QIBI orientation and quiz, which is pre-enrollment, the ACS online orientation and quiz, which you'll do in the first month, and 2 feedback surveys in LMS, the midterm and the last class surveys, which I mentioned before. And number 5 is the ACS PE online course, completed and graded successfully, and that is in alignment with your internship. So, possible fees that may be incurred during the program. These are on chart. The chart is on slide 27. When a fee is incurred, other than the make-up class fee, if there is extenuating or emergency circumstances, the appeal to waive any fee must be supported with valid evidence and submission of a complaints and appeals form. The $100 make-up class fee will stand whether extenuating reasons or not. And withdrawal. If you withdraw from the program at any stage, or if you're removed for misconduct, you're liable for any outstanding tuition fees if you chose the instalment option, and all instalments must still be paid in full, and you'll see the terms and conditions. And classroom etiquette. Be respectful to your colleagues and your facilitator at all times. Always communicate in English whilst on the campus, in class, online, and in group and teamwork. Now, there is a dress code. It's office wear, smart casual, for all PY classes, in class and online. It's smart casual, and business wear, non-formal, for all network activities such as ACS events and for job interviews, and also for your mock interview with your facilitator and for your internship interview. We want you to wear business wear, non-formal business wear. So here's a few examples of what is acceptable. A shirt and pants, or a dress for the women, a nice skirt. For the men, good shoes, pants, a shirt and tie for interviews, and a jacket. And this is unacceptable. Beach wear, thongs, short skirts, dirty shoes, midriff tops, that sort of thing. So the QIBA class sessions and assessments. There are 10 modules and assessments, and there is an 11th module, which is the internship. But the first module is workplace communication. The second module is the Australian workplace culture. Module 3, reporting to managers. Module 4, tailored job application. Module 5, interview preparation. And you can go back to this presentation, orientation presentation, at any time to see the details of these. Module 6 is professional performance. Module 7, performance in business meetings. Module 8, business writing. Module 9, workplace relationships. Module 10, effective presentations. And there's the module 11, the internship. So graduation, at the end, you're eligible to graduate on your scheduled graduation date if you've completed your internship and your ACS PE online course, and that it's been graded successfully by the ACS. Under no circumstances are you able to graduate or receive your certificates earlier than the date stated on your COE. This is a stipulation of the Department of Home Affairs and the governing bodies. So on successful completion of the PY program, you'll receive 2 certificates, the QIBA graduation certificate and transcript, and an ACS statement of achievement transcript. And these 2 certificates will be required for your ACS skill assessment. And QIBA hosts a graduation ceremony at least every quarter, so you'll be invited to a ceremony close to or prior or after your completion date. And this is the fees chart that you can refer to as you go on. And useful contacts, there's the student inquiries, internships, placements, enrolments, fees and accounts, and LMS password reset. So part 2 of our program, of this orientation. It is the internship. So the PY internship provides a practical work experience for candidates to develop professional skills specific to the Australian workplace or professional business environment. And in accordance with Australian workplace legislation, the PY internship is the equivalent to the Fair Work Act 2009's definition of a vocational placement. That is a formal work experience that's part of an education course and is lawfully unpaid. So the placement will align with an ICT-related ANSCO code in accordance with ACS's commitment to fostering the growth of a skilled ICT workforce in Australia. And if you're offered paid employment at the host company, the onus is on the PY intern, you, to determine whether the paid employment meets and continues to meet all requirements for migration skills assessment. Specifically, 1 year paid employment must meet the professional level IT requirement. And for these guidelines and current guidelines, you're encouraged to review the ACS Migration Skill Assessment on the ACS webpage. So, internship requirements. The internship experience will give you important skills to help you transition successfully from study to professional work. It's a minimum 220 hours of ICT tasks and work. So 220 hours over a minimum of 12 weeks, which averages to 3 days per week. And the internship component includes the ACS Professional Environments PE online course. So, okay, internship requirements. You cannot commence your internship component if you've not completed all classes, including any makeup classes you had to do, and been deemed competent in all assessments. If you've taken more than 2 weeks leave offshore, this impacts your pre-scheduled internship start date. So your internship will have to be deferred to a later cohort. Unless this is caused by extenuating circumstances and evidence is provided, a late placement fee may be incurred, and it'll delay your graduation because it delays your internship. And though all efforts are made to source a placement in your particular field of study and preference, due to changes in the market and trend fluctuations, we can't guarantee it will be in your particular stream. However, it will be aligned with an ICT ANSCO code. And expectations. Unless you're employed in the IT sector and your employment has been approved to satisfy the internship component, QIBA or Smart Interns, which is our internship provider partner, will provide you an internship placement. So unless you're employed in IT, we provide you a placement. You'll be given a maximum of 3 interviews, and those failing to secure a placement from the interview will be provided further skills revision. So candidates who successfully secure an internship with a host company must accept this offer. Host companies sometimes employ candidates, but this isn't the purpose of the internship, nor the professional year program or QIBA's expectations of our host companies. You'll be lucky to get a job from your internship placement, and it's great news when you do. However, that's not the expectation. It is 220 hours over 12 weeks of in-office experience. So the types of internships. Provider place, that's where it's sourced internally by QIBA or Smart Interns. A PY candidate may present potential leads for unpaid internship opportunities to us. However, these will be thoroughly vetted and due diligence and compliance prior to approval for a placement with a company lead. The own employment. So you may complete the 12 weeks at your current place of work to satisfy the internship component, provided your employment is IT related and relevant to your principal course of study. And there's a WIL program, which is a workplace integrated learning program designed and delivered by the ACS to assist in fulfilling internship component if required. And non-local placements. And that is a placement located more than 200 kilometres or 2 hours travel time from the intern's home, but within the same state. And it applies to own employment only. We wouldn't have you travelling 200 kilometres for a placement. So if you work 200 kilometres away, we can approve that. Interstate employment. So a placement in another state or region in which QIBA does not deliver, and that applies to own employment only. If you get a job in another state, you may move following your class component, you may move to your place of work, and we will support that. So relocation to a different state without IT employment or during the class component. So where QIBA is not responsible to source an internship for you if you move to a state that we do not have the PY program. You'll be withdrawn and on ACS approval, be transferred to another provider who delivers in that new location and who can support you. So just a side note, all own employment placements are subject to due diligence and an approval process. Certain documentation is required to substantiate the employment or the internship. So verification requirements for own employment. If you're going to use your own employment, you must notify the PY internship team of this intention by week 22 for approval. It takes time to go through our due diligence and our checks. So at week 22, we need to know if you're going to use own employment. We need your employment contract, the verification letter on company letterhead, and it must be sent by a relevant person from the HR domain. It's to show the student name, job title, employment type, employment address, position description, and the start date. Plus, we need pay slips, 6 weeks substantiation, then 12 weeks at completion of the internship period. And if your employment isn't yet commenced, a letter of offer or the signed contract may be provided in lieu of pay slips. However, pay slips will be collected at the 6-week mid-placement review, and again, 6 weeks substantiation at completion of the internship period. Now, this is to prove you actually have been working for that full 12 weeks of the internship period. And bank statements or a superannuation statement of account for payment verification. And it must cover the 12-week internship duration. So employer, business name, ABN, website and address, your direct manager's name, his or her direct number and email address, and the position title, the description and corresponding ANSCO code, the date of your employment commencement, and the date period you'll be using for the internship fulfillment, and an agreement to report to QIBA any change in employment and for placement monitoring to be conducted with you at your place of work, and also an agreement to give QIBA consent to contact your employer if you are uncontactable during the placement period. They are an acknowledgement letter that you sign. So what to expect leading up to the internship? So through the class component at week 16, we provide an internship information session in class from one of our internship placement staff members. And week 16 to 18, we distribute the internship information pack. At week 22, the internship placement method information is due to QIBA. We send you an email prompting you to inform us of what you require, whether it's employment, own employment, or whether you need us to provide you a placement. That's at week 22, we need to know. Then at week 26, a pre-placement interview, and we confirm your placement method. Week 26 to 32, we are busy sourcing, doing due diligence and matching you to a company. And then week 32 to 34, we confirm internship eligibility and finalise documentation, such as an internship agreement. And week 34 plus, you commence your internship for the next 12 weeks. And then during the internship, at week 1, we send you an email that you must respond and acknowledge. It's the first week check-in email. And if there's any issues at week 1, we need to know about it. This is your opportunity to tell us if you've settled in or if there's an issue. Then at week 5 to 7, we coordinate a mid-placement review with you as the intern, and it's via Zoom, and with your host supervisor, which is via a survey. So, and this is for provider placed and own employment. However, with own employment, we don't do a survey with your supervisor. Then the final, at week 12 is the final intern review, and that is via Zoom, and that's both provider placed and own employment. And at week 12 is the final supervisor review for provider placed only, and that's via a feedback survey. And then at week 12, you need to provide payslip evidence and bank statements for your own employment to substantiate that 12 weeks of work. And on completion, we require you to send in the signed timesheet, a completion report, and the completed training plan and a survey. And then you will graduate when everything is finished and we have all the documentation. And then 6 months post-graduation, you'll receive an email from QIBA again, and we want to ask you for your employment outcome. Are you working in IT, or are you continuing studying, or have you changed career? We just need some feedback from you for statistic purposes. QIBA correspondence. Now, QIBA communicate with all our candidates by email predominantly, and particularly leading up to the internship phase, the placement team will be contacting you for information on your placement type, example, unemployment or provider place, also to arrange a pre-internship interview with you, and also scheduling internship interview opportunities. So you must respond to all emails, all our phone calls or messages from QIBA itself or from Smart Interns within 24 hours. So, because failure to respond in a timely manner means you could miss out on an interview and potential placement, or it could cause delays in obtaining another interview, which may result in a late placement fee, breaching and pre-scheduled internship deadline. And your internship and graduation will be delayed if you're not corresponding with us in a timely manner. Always check your junk and spam folder. If our emails go to your junk folder, you need to check that, especially leading up to the internship phase, because you'll be expecting lots of emails from us. Now, things to think about for your internship. Your interview questions that you'll go through in class with your facilitator. Your interview responses, your body language, and your attire, your work clothes, your interview or work clothes, your goals for your internship, and your goals for your future. It's good to have goals and to be able to communicate those to your interviewer and to your supervisor. And the dress code for the internship, the men to wear a shirt and tie and jacket, and the women to wear formal interview attire, skirt, pants, shirt, jacket. And the ACSP online course that you'll do in conjunction with your internship placement, and it's delivered by the ACS. ACS will contact you a few days prior to the scheduled start date of your PE online course, and you must log in and start the course on the scheduled date. So once your internship placement is confirmed, we notify ACS, and then they slot you in to the next PE online course. and the duration is 13 weeks online. There's the introduction in module. Module 1 is ICT professionalism, ethics and governance. Module 2, project management and risk management. Module 3 is professional development and mentorship. And during modules 1 to 3, there's discussions, journals, quizzes, and there's a major assignment. So as active ACS members, participants in the PE online course are required to earn 15 CPD hours. Now, attending ACS events is not compulsory. However, we do encourage it, but instead, PY participants will attain 15 CPD hours by completing online coursework and professional development journeys in ACS's Learning Accelerator during the PE online course. So by engaging in broad ACS membership and activities and explore IT specialisms within the new PE course, you'll require 15 CPD hours. There's no longer any need to earn CPD hours on your own. How you'll complete those 15 CPD hours: 8 to 9 hours of skill-based learning journeys through the Accelerator program, 3 to 4 hours of group discussions on current IT news using the ACS Information Age and SFIA through your internship and emerging technologies supported by your ACS mentor, a video assessment and peer review activity, and optional ACS event feedback videos of 90 seconds or less for bonus course marks. But they'll advise, ACS will advise you about those. And though you're not required to attend events, we do encourage you to continue to engage and expand your industry knowledge and professional connections through local events, online learning, and national webinars. And you'll be eligible for the PE online course only after commencing the internship component. So documentation through the internship. There's the timesheets. All candidates are provided with and required to keep a timesheet during their internship placement. The timesheet must be submitted at the conclusion of your placement to the internship coordinator. And completion time, the training plan. So the training plan that was originally on your internship agreement with a plan, it's to be updated as you go through the internship, and on completion of the placement, it's to show what you actually did through the 12 weeks. And the internship report, it's a reflection report on the organisation and you, key performance indicators and your capabilities, and your practical work experience and the portability to your future career. So that reflection report will be completed by you and submitted on completion. And there's the supervisor's feedback survey. So a survey link is sent to your supervisor, for provider placed only, for feedback on your performance during the placement. So success is up to you. Candidates can fail an internship. Successful completion of the internship and of the whole program is up to you and your attitude, your behaviour, your choices. You'll be noticed by your supervisor and colleagues during your placement. So you can create your own future. And you've gone through, I've taken you through and you've joined me in this compulsory orientation, and now there's the quiz. So please proceed by scrolling down and select next. Now this orientation and quiz is to be completed prior to your first class. So all the best, and thank you very much for joining. And there's a team at QIBA who are there to help you go through the next 46 to 48 weeks of your program. So all the best. Thank you.